what is it like for a foreigner to purchase a used car or any car out here in Mexico? What are the rules? What are the regulations? What do you need to know? What is it like to do the paperwork, register the car, get the insurance, all the information you need to know, and then some. That's what we're going to be covering in today's video. So guys, you already know what's up. Welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, as you guys can see, we got the truck right there. Let's bask in its glory. Look at that, how awesome it looks. You finally get to see the outside, and we're not only going to talk about those things that I mentioned all earlier, but we're also going to give a quick little tour of the outside, the inside of the truck, talk about the truck, because I know a lot of you guys are interested in that. But more important than anything else, we're going to be talking about, again, you know, what you need to know when it comes to purchasing a used car. Now, the first thing you need to know is that it's not that difficult, believe it or not. It's actually exactly the same as it is in the USA. Now, of course, there's a few minor changes and differences here and there, which we'll discuss, but it's basically the same exact kind of situation when you're buying a used car in Mexico as to when you're buying it in the United States of America. And what do I mean by that? Well, a lot of times when you're purchasing a car in the USA, you'll meet up at a parking lot, for example. You'll meet up at the guy's house, for example, you know, to come and purchase the car. And you know, you'll look over the car, and if all goes well, you make the exchange. You meaning keys, right? Keys and car for the paperwork. You know what I mean? I mean, keys and car for cash. Sorry, keys, car, paperwork for cash. And so in this case, you know, what we did when I purchased this car is that I went to the location of where they were selling the truck, and I looked over it. We negotiated on the deal. We'll talk about all that in a bit. We negotiated. Everything was great, wonderful, just like the US. I drove it around. Everything was great. I met my specs. I wanted to buy it. He was happy with the offer that I made, and boom, before you knew it, he gave me the title. And then once I got the title, I can't really show you the title for too many obvious reasons. I don't want to give you too much information, you know, and you know, obviously, you know, you gotta, some things must remain private. But like I said, if you purchase a used car in the US, you can purchase one here. Like I said, you probably do need a translator or someone, or you should speak Spanish, you know, if the person that you're buying it from only speaks Spanish, just to make sure everything is hunky-dory. But long story short, you know, there is a few things that you can do to make sure, you know, that your car is not stolen. Like, for example, there is a website that you can go to. I'm going to prompt you to that website right now. All right, guys, so as you guys can see there, this is the website. It's right there. I'm pointing right at it. The web address is all the way at the top. I will provide a link to this website down below in the description of this video and in the comment section and all that, so that you guys can have access to this. But it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, obviously you need to know a little Spanish, but right here, you know, where it says placa or NIV, that is where you put your car's tag. All right, or, you know, its VIN number or what have you. And then down here, as you guys can see, I'm scrolling, it will show you green means go, yellow means there might be a problem, red means major problem. Again, you guys can go through this on your own whenever you are going to be purchasing a new or used car. Okay, and as you guys can see, you guys can just, you know, very easily, you know, put in the car's information there and just see if it's stolen, not stolen, you know, what its state situation is, okay, before you can purchase it. So once you go to the website and you double check and make sure that the car is legal and that you can own it and you can buy it and there's nothing wrong with it, then you can proceed to the next step, which is signing the title. So they're going to be signing the title over to you. They're basically going to be writing something in the back in Spanish that says, hey, I, John Doe, you know, or Juan Gonzalez, right, whatever, you know, state that I am selling this car to Jose Ortega, or in your case, you know, John Smith, whoever's on the other end. And so that's it, and then you sign it, all right? And then you take that paperwork alongside other paperwork, a lot of paperwork, we'll talk about that in a second, to the DMV. But in this case, the DMV is the police station. And every state in Mexico is very different. Every, you know, the municipalities are different, but basically every state's a little different, or very different. All depends on where you go. We're talking about here in Mérida, Yucatan. All right, and so how things are out here, it's as close as you can get to the US and Canada when it comes to all this. And so just think of the SSP in this case, which is the police station, the police officers. They are the DMV. So the police out here, they're in charge of all transit and all traffic situations. Everything from car registration to ticketing, to enforcement, to you name it. To licensing, to get your license, everything is all done through them. To get your tags, everything. Okay, so in my case, you know, things were a little different out here because due to the pandemic and all that stuff, you know, things were just not as easy as they would normally be when it comes to, you know, getting the car registered under my name, getting the tags, and getting all that stuff. But long story short, it was pretty straightforward and pretty easy. So once you gather the proper paperwork that you need, because everyone's going to need a little bit of a different paperwork, but long story short, you're going to be needing things like proof of address, you know, you're going to be needing probably a paper from immigration, because most of you guys watching this are either going to be temporary resident or a permanent resident. Now, yes, you can purchase a car under a tourist visa, but you're not really purchasing a car. It's more like a promissory note where you are renting or borrowing the car from the owner, and it's a whole different thing. We'll maybe talk about it later, but it's not really buying a car. All right, if you really want to buy a car, like again, put this car, like this car under your name, this truck under your name, or whatever truck under your name or car under your name, then you need to be at the very least a temporary or permanent resident. Okay, and so once you you know, once you go to the location where you're going to purchase this car, whether it's from the owner directly, or whether it's from a dealership, or whether it's from, you know, whatever, you know, a business of some sort outside of either one of those, they exist. Anyways, when you're purchasing it, you know, part of the thing is that, again, you're going to sign over the title to your name. So once the title is in your name, all right, it is your job now to take it to the DMV, all right, which again, in this case, is a police station, and alongside with, you know, again, a proof of address, you know, proof of immigration, you know, there's a bunch of paperwork. You got to go online and see what your state's you know, requires in order to put the car into your name. But once you go to the police station, it's all pretty straightforward because, for example, in this case, the tags were expired. The car, you know, had not been transferred to another person in a very long time, and I had no insurance. So I had to get, it's a triple whammy. So I had to get all that. So the first thing I did is right after I purchased the car and I took it home, I called an insurance company. Now, what I did is that I shopped around, all right, and I found the best, okay, insurance company that would insure this very old 1988 Dodge. Because, you know, that's another story on its own. But long story short, I was able to find some cheap insurance, the legal insurance, the insurance I need to be legally on the road, and it was very cheap. I think it was like $50 for the whole year, all right, of coverage. Now, the full coverage is basically for me in case I get in an accident or hit anybody, that they're covered, their expenses are covered, everything is covered for them. I literally have like kind of like no insurance, and that's another story because, you know, the car is so old and all that stuff that, you know, there's no real insurance for this outside of a really expensive insurance, which I'm not willing to get. It has insurance, but again, it's just enough for, you know, to get you know, get me on the road and make sure that if I do get in an accident or anything happens, that the other party is covered. Because the last thing you want is for you to be on the road, the last thing you want is for you to get in an accident and not have insurance, and then the full, you know, gavel arm of the law is really going to be hitting you over the head. And again, that's the last thing you want, is to be getting caught in an accident and injuring somebody and not have insurance, okay? Because that's really not good, okay? All right, let's get back into it. So the first thing I did was get the insurance. Once I got the insurance, all right, then I had to get an appointment and wait in line several months, all right, to finally get my appointment to the police station, because again, because of the pandemic, you know, there's just so much going on with that, that just imagine like all this full of people. I mean, thousands and thousands of people, okay, all there to just get all the same exact paperwork done as I was doing. So what was I getting done? I had to get the car registered in my name. But again, one of the pieces of one of the pieces of information that I need in order to register it in my name is I got to get the insurance. So that's why as soon as I bought it, the first thing I did when I got home was get insurance. So now that I have insurance, I had to have a license, okay, a valid license, whether it's from a foreign country or a Mexican license, but you need a license, all right? And then you need, you know, again, a piece of paper from immigration, and you need a bunch of other things, okay? Again, it all depends on what state you're in, and depending on the state you're in will be depending on how difficult this will be and how much more bureaucracy and paperwork they're going to be asking for. But once you get all your paperwork that, you know, you're asked for on the website, because again, every state and every place has their own website. Once you find all the paperwork you need, and you have it with you, then you go to the police station, all right, the DMV, and Department of Motor Vehicles, all right, whatever, the Mexican version, and you go with your paperwork and you get the car registered in your name. And once you get the car registered in your name, in my case, since I needed tags, I got prompted to get my tags, okay? And that's it. And now, and then on top of that, you also get prompted, depending on where you are, to get your license. Now, in my case, I couldn't get my license just yet, simply because, again, there was just, it's two separate areas, and you know, I'm still waiting on my appointment, okay? So I was able to register my car. Again, this is a very rare case. It's not always the case. I know somebody that literally just came from there, and they had the same situation as me, and they got rejected, okay? But I was able to get it all under my expired California license. But again, you know, by the time you're watching this video, I should have my license already. And again, it's very easy to obtain a license out here. You know, depending on the state, will depend on how easy it will be, all right? But that's another video, that's another topic, that's another thing. Like, at the end of the day, as long as you have a valid license from wherever country you're from, you're good to go. You really don't got to worry about anything until you don't have a license, or AKA your license is expired, and then you still kind of don't have to worry, but you should worry, and you should, you know, rectify that situation as soon as possible, all right? But long story short, everything just took longer than expected, only because everything was just so backlogged and everything just took so long. But you know, there's not really much details, except for the fact that depending on the state you're in will depend on the paperwork you need, and then you grab all that paperwork and you go and make an appointment, and you go wait, you know, in line, you know, for hours or days or whatever. In my case, it took days, weeks, you know, of going back and forth, because that's the way Mexico is. Again, I don't want to get into all that, but I prefer that, you know, we have a small, inept government, as opposed to a large, you know, tyrannical government. But that's another story for another day. We're talking about the car here, which, speaking of which, we're going to take a quick tour right now, all right? But as I was saying earlier, before we go on the tour, I want to just finish this thought off here, and make sure that you know, we have you know, all the information out here before we check out the car. But yeah, long story short, you know, by the way, I apologize for the noise, but I figured, hey, the perfect spot to make this video would be outside with all the noise, all the car noise, all the everything noise, and you know, here we are. And every time you hear that noise, by the way, it's always an ambulance or some sort of emergency vehicle. Very rarely will that be coming from a police officer. All right, so I know most of you guys hear that noise and you guys think it's a cop coming straight ahead over here to stop me from making my video. Anyways, all right, so back to what I was saying. At the end of the day, it's just a pretty straightforward procedure. Like I said, the only thing that sucks is that out here, if you think it's bad in your country or the US, you know, to get this done, it can be even worse out here. But again, it depends on the state. In some areas, you go and you're in and you're out and you're done and you're good to go. But in other places, it's a nightmare. Like out here, it was a nightmare. All right, it just took forever to finally get everything under my name, and finally get my tags, and finally get everything. But hey, we got it. It's all good. So celebrate, and that's why we're here making this video. And I was wanting to make this video earlier, but you know, right now we're like in the wet, rainy season out here, hurricane season, and so yeah, you know, this is as best as it's gonna get for now. All right, so without further ado, let's take the tour of the car. All right, so let's take a look at this bad boy. I know a lot of you guys out there have been waiting for this, and for everyone else that hasn't and is dying to, you know, click off, now's your chance. All right, so let's check out this bad boy. So I know a lot of you guys have been wondering, you know, how much I paid for this guy. So originally the guy was asking for like a little over $2,000 US, and I was able to get it for you know, around 1,500 US, okay? And so I have already put into this car another 1,000 1,500 give or take. So I would say that so far on this truck, I have put in like around 2,500 to $3,000. All right, and I know it's a little dirty and messy at the moment, but like I said, you know what I mean, like I've been working on it. I've had mechanics working on it. It's dirty, and don't get me started. I gotta clean it up, I know. But yeah, you know, everything from the tags to the registration, so all that cost me out here, I think it cost me like a little bit over $150 for everything. Okay, you know, everything to get it all done. I think it was a little less, actually. I think it was like around 100 something, 100 bucks. All right, let's just say 100 bucks. All right, for that. And then everything else has been a lot of parts, you know, and a lot of the you know, work, you know, what is it, like a lot of the man hours, you know, for the mechanic has been very little. So all right, let's get in here. So obviously I still got to fix this door. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I put this here because the glass is hitting up against this metal, because again, this is an awesome car. Look at this, it's metal. I know it's apocalypse proof. That's why I got this car, you know what I mean? No matter what I hit, I'm probably gonna run over like a tank. This is definitely, unless I hit a semi truck, okay? But other than that, this is the semi truck, all right? They don't make them like this anymore. This is a 1988 Dodge Ram. And yeah, there's a lot of original parts in here still. It works like a charm. We're gonna start this up in a minute. I don't know if you can see or not. It might be very dark. Let's see if we can jump in the back. So this is a 3-seater, as you guys can see, all right? It has one seat and a huge back right there. Huge badunk-a-dunk. All right, and then this is huge out here. I mean, I fit nice and comfortable over there. You can fit like 4 Christians here, you know, like she's so tiny. She you know, you can fit so many of her in here. In fact, a lot of times she'll just pop in the back and take a nap, you know, or just ride back there. So here, I'm gonna give you guys a look through the interior. All right, this is a spare tire. Okay, you can see the back from, okay, look how huge it is. A lot of space. This opens up, obviously, you know, it just opens up like a latch. All right, it's huge. Those I got new huge tires on it. That's like a major expense, you know, because big tires are expensive, which I did not know. I never really had a huge car like this before. And I did a lot of work on the car so far. Let me show you under the hood real quick. Okay, let's check this under the hood. Look at that. So again, it's an older car, you know what I mean? It's an older motor, but I've been doing a lot of work on it, and you know, been getting a lot of new spare parts, everything from a new battery, new cables, you know, new air filter, tubes. I could go on and on. All right, but you guys can get an idea there of what the interior looks like. And in fact, I'm gonna start it up real quick. All right, so I'm gonna put this over here. Isn't that awesome? So yeah, that's another reason why I bought this bad boy, because not only did I know it was apocalypse proof, but it started right up, and it always starts right up. And then obviously, you imagine how well it drives after I've done a lot of work on it, and how much better it even starts up from the original purchase date. So yeah, no, this truck is coming along nicely, and I am looking forward very much to sharing with you guys, you know, as much as I can with this truck. And what do I mean by that? Well, you already know, now with this truck, my radius has gotten even bigger. You guys remember let me turn this car up. I don't want to be wasting any gas. I don't want Greta to get all mad at me, right?
How dare
polluting
you?
the air. So yeah, that's another thing. I wouldn't be able to really have this car in the US, for example, because, are you kidding me? It's illegal. Literally, it's too polluting, all right, according to certain people out there. And I don't want to get into all that, all right? But, you know, what I was saying earlier, for a lot of you guys that have been following me for a very, very long time, you guys already know that when I first started doing, I love the sound. I love how, you know, just it's a beast. Anyways, a lot of you guys already know and been following me for a long time that, you know, when I first started making these videos and started doing a lot of this stuff, it was all on foot. It was all just walking around. It was all just me and my camera, a lot of times pointing at myself or pointing forward. And you know, this is the view I would give you guys, as you guys already know. Most of the time, this is the view you're getting now. As I matured and I was able to get a few bucks, you know, because again, you guys already know, I came out here with $1,500 to my name and just a few bags of clothes and stuff. And you know, eventually, when I first got here, I couldn't afford a bicycle, but eventually I was able to afford a bicycle. In fact, my first bicycle was a gift given to me, and then after that, purchased a bike and all that good stuff. But long story short, once I got the bike, you know, my radius got even bigger, because now I was able to ride a bike and go further and show you more neighborhoods. By the way, I got to get back on my bike and get back on that and show you you know, the neighborhoods again from that perspective. But since I've gotten the car, you guys have, again, I've noticed, you know, especially the old viewers, I know the new viewers probably only know me from this, or only know me from a few videos here and there, but the old viewers now know, wow, you know what I mean, you got a car. So what does that mean? Well, again, what I was saying earlier, you know, it's going to get even bigger. I'm going to have an even bigger radius for me to explore, not just Merida, but beyond. That's the idea. That's another reason why I got this bad boy. You know what I mean? Because I want to be able to go to the beach, go to the jungle, go to another state, and go above and beyond, you know, what others have done. I know other people out there, other YouTubers might have their cars and they travel and they stick to, you know, certain highways in certain areas, but you already know I don't do that. And so imagine now that I got this bad boy that can travel just about anywhere, aka, you know, the dirt roads, the villages, and a bunch of other areas that a lot of people want to see, want to explore, but they just don't know how. They don't know how to get there. They don't know if they'll be accepted. We can go on and on. So that's the idea. The idea is for us to use this bad boy to explore even more of our backyard. All right, not just the city, because we know that the city, you know, there's a lot to see here, and now we can see it even more easier because we have a car. We don't have to rely on Uber and all this other stuff. But not only are we going to be able to show you more of the city and more of the surrounding areas, but we'll be able to show you a lot of areas that most likely you're never going to be able to go, and try to give you as much information as possible, a lot of information that you probably won't be able to get to have. And so look, I know there's other videos out there. I'm sure there's other videos talking about how to get your car registered and how to do all that stuff, and to be a little bit more detailed than my video. But you know, my video is just to show you that anyone can do it, and it's pretty easy. And I've met many people that, you know, speak very little English. I know many people that speak very little Spanish, all right, and only English, and they've been able to get all this done just as well as I have. Not as easily, but definitely just as well, meaning, you know, they've been able to buy a used car, register it in their name, get the tag, get all this stuff, and many times they've been able to either do it on their own or just hire an assistant to just guide them through a few, you know, simple things. So, you know, all this, you know, can also, like I was gonna say this, you know, earlier and I forgot, but a lot of this stuff that, you know, with the car registration and all that stuff, it can be done also through proxy. You can hire somebody to help you get this done, just like you can hire somebody like my lawyer or your Stephanie or whoever on my website in order to help you, you know, get your immigration stuff done, assuming that you can't do it on your own or don't want to do it on your own. So that's, you know, again, another valuable thing that you know, I like to bring out here is the fact that I like to show you guys how you can do it on your own, how you can do it saving money. Man, there's a lot of emergencies happening. I think, you know what, I think this is because there's a hospital out here, so I apologize for all the noise. But no, there we go. Okay, it's going the other way. So I guess still distracted so easily, just like Homer. Ooh, a bird. Anyways, okay, so as I was saying, the reason I really do these videos is just to show you that anyone can do it. Even a, you know, dumbass like me can get it done. You can definitely get it done. And it's, yeah, it's a pain in the butt and it's not easy, and maybe it'll put things into perspective in your own country, whether you're in the US or Canada and you have immigrants in your own country that have to deal with, you know, the bureaucracy and the same situations back home, and how difficult it was and is for them. So it'll give you a little perspective of the same situation out here. It's just, you know, even for me that I speak the same language and all that stuff, it's still, somewhat difficult because it's just a new country, a new everything. But you know, once it's all said and done, you realize, oh, this is a lot easier and a lot better, you know, situation than it is, you know, where I was back home. But as I was saying earlier, you know, we're going to be doing a lot more exploring. We're going to be doing a lot more showing you around of you know, Mexico and at least the surrounding areas and beyond. And it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to show you. And I'm hoping you enjoyed today's video. I know today's video was you know, just talking about, you know, some boring subject that most people might not even care about or need to know about. But I know a lot of people, you know, they're very worried because they need transportation, they want a car, and they're worried about whether or not they can get one or not. And this video is really just to put people's mind at ease, to let them know that, yeah, not only can you get a car, but you can drive out here very quickly, very easily. And you know, what I was explaining to you guys is that once you get to that point where you need to register it and put it on, get the tag and get all that stuff. But anyone that knows Mexico well enough, you know that, and a lot of times, you know, you can purchase a car and never register it. Many times you'll purchase a car that has had a few owners previously and no one ever registered it. Same thing with tags and all this other stuff, and a lot of the same thing with licenses. A lot of these things have been, for the most part, you know, laws that are not really enforced. Depending, it just all depends on the city and the area and of where you are in Mexico. But you know, one of the things about Mexico was that a lot of these things, for the most part, you know, not only were not enforced, but they didn't really matter or care. They didn't really matter, or many of the people, like police officers and stuff like that, didn't care to enforce it or had any, you know, kind of reason to, you know what I mean, like any whatever. So at the end of the day, you know, things are changing now in Mexico, as we know, and this is one of the things that's changing, where now they are, you know, more and more requiring you to have, you know, the car at the very least registered in your name, at the very least have the right, you know, proper current tags, and yes, of course, also have a valid driver's license. But again, we've talked about this before. Having a driver's license out here is like a fishing license. It's just, you know, just to drive. Most people not only do not have a driver's license, but they don't need a driver's license. Period, end of story. And a lot of people in many parts of rural Mexico don't ever even get a driver's license, because for what? They don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even the penalty for not having one is so minor and so small that the reality is that most people just don't go through all that hassle to get it, just like taxes and all these other things. All right. But all right, I've already been talking enough. I feel like this has already been a long enough episode, and I think you guys have you know, gotten your fair share of information when it comes to what it is to like purchase a car, used or new, out here in Mexico. And you already know, if I didn't answer any of your questions, that's what we have the comment section for. That's what we have the open forum. That's what we got the Facebook group. That's what we got all the links down below. So that, again, I encourage you guys to ask the question down below in the comment section, so that we can all benefit. Not only can I answer it publicly, and but other people can read their comment, and everybody can you know, get more information on the situation. All right. But long story short, you already know, don't be shy. And speaking of which, if this video or any video has ever brought you any kind of value, and you want to help me and bring me some value, you already know what to do. You can very simply, you know, click on all the links down below. You can leave $1, you can leave $5, you can leave $0, you can leave $1 million, you can leave whatever you want. But long story short, at the very least, if you can't leave $1 or $2, you can definitely leave a like. You can definitely leave a comment. You can definitely you know, at the very least, leave with a smile. And hopefully you do. I know some of you guys leave with a frown, but I hope you guys leave with a smile when you watch my videos. All right, so with all that being said, you already know the deal. Let's ride. Bruh. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit the bell icon, but more importantly than anything else, please stay awesome. Thank you so much to all my supporters out there, new and old, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and it was helpful to you, and that you know, we can continue this conversation in case I haven't been able to answer all your questions, and that we can continue making more videos like this, and continue helping spread the knowledge. All right, so again, thanks a lot for everything, and I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.